Morning, everyone, and welcome to our morning gratitude practice. Today, throughout the day, we will be focusing on the body and trying to connect with the body. Our body is truly remarkable and does so very much for us, so much that we don't even have to ask it to do. It just automatically does this. It naturally keeps our heart beating, allows us to breathe, allows us to rest, move, right? See things, take things in with our senses. It really is quite incredible. However, we often don't pause to really appreciate our body. We see things about it that we don't like, we notice things about it that are uncomfortable or unfavorable, but pausing and connecting with our body in a way that offers gratitude and appreciation is so important as well. There are so many interesting facts about the body, but I just wanted to highlight a few that some of you may or may not be familiar with. So, for example, did you know that our heart actually sends more messages to our brain than our brain sends to our heart? We spend a lot of time kind of learning about the brain, and there's so much that we're learning, and it's absolutely fascinating. But our heart is so intricate as well, and the more that we learn about the heart, the more that we realize that it plays such a crucial role in emotions and our experiences, and gearing and shaping our experiences in conjunction with the brain. At our treatment center, we're always looking at how do we balance that right brain emotional felt state, kind of that heart part, with that left brain logic, so that more thinking part, brain, mind, and creating a balance between the two. We also now understand that serotonin is formed in the gut. So what we're eating, right, what we're putting into our body is again shaping how we're feeling and how we're functioning on a day-to-day basis. This is Kelly Brogan's work if you're interested in learning more. We know that our body also adapts to what it knows. So unfortunately for many of us, if we've experienced trauma or chaos or stress early in our life, our body can adapt to that kind of go, go, go or heightened pace as what is normal. Right? And as we grow and become older, even in the absence of that stress, if that's our reality, our body is still acting as though, we need to be moving and functioning at that go, go, go pace. So part of our work is teaching the body that it can slow down, it can pause, it can heal, and that it's safe to do so. When we tune inwardly to the body, when we're redirecting our attention and our breath, all of this sends messages to our body and our nervous system, as well as to the amygdala, our personal security guard, that it's okay to slow down and calm down. If we want to shift that balance, moving out of that kind of comfort with chaos pace into comfort with calm, we need to do this with intentionality, repeated practice, conscious awareness, and motivation, because the body adapts and in some ways is kind of lazy. It doesn't really want to change. Joe Dispenza has many great videos that talk about this, and it makes me chuckle because often when we try to do something new, like maybe exercise or build in a meditation practice or start practicing gratitude, we'll have these little neural networks of association that kind of kick in, and they're like, no, let's start that tomorrow. You don't really want to do that. That's not fun. And we get all of these messages because it's uncomfortable to create change. And it takes work and practice, right? And it really doesn't feel good quite often when we're starting out because that's not what's familiar. But the payoff when we can shift this is incredibly profound. And, our body is ours for the rest of our life. So I'd love to just talk about a few tips that are helpful to consider, simple tips from a self-care perspective. So one of our former therapists, also a yoga practitioner, Eva Morocco, said, babies, the first thing they do when they wake up is they stretch. Right? We as human beings, often our alarm goes off, maybe we're hitting snooze, but we're moving quite often right up out of bed into the day. Taking seconds to just stretch can feel so good for our body. I often incorporate this into our trainings, and when we invite this, people experience such a positive release when we do this. She also said anything that rotates, rotate it. So our hands rotate, our shoulders rotate, our arms rotate, right? Go down your body, start with the neck, work your way down. And anything, she says, you know, lube your joints. Anything that rotates, rotate it intentionally. This helps to encourage movement, blood flow, but also just tends to our body. Water and food before coffee. Right? Our brain needs that. It needs something sustaining. And often the first thing I'll do when I wake up after stretching and maybe doing a morning meditation in my bed is I'll have a glass of water, because I know my body's made primarily up out of water, so it needs that. And it doesn't tend to get enough of it throughout the day unless I'm very intentional about that. If we're sitting a lot, which many of us are right now, we're on technology, we're sitting, being mindful of what's happening to our body. So there will be some posts I'll share later today from a self-care perspective with some activities that are very practical and helpful for tending to your body. But for one thing, there's a lot of curling inward that's happening right now, constriction that's happening. So if we're sitting a lot, we want to intentionally open up and expand. And I have these great little yoga tune-up balls, and you can place them behind your back or your low back, and it can just help with supporting your posture throughout the day if you, like me, are on the computer pretty much all day. Building in little walks, little breaks, little movement breaks in between is also really critical. And singing, humming, all of this is incredibly helpful for our vagal tone. So the vagal nerve is the largest sensory nerve in the body. And when we take time to regulate the vagus nerve, it helps in such a profound way with regulating our nervous system, our brain, and those survival responses. Another thing that is really nice when we're sitting all day is cupping the back of the neck. So just taking your hand, and I learned this in a Qigong class, and it feels so good. I think a lot of us massage our necks, but the teacher said take your hand and just firmly cup your neck, right? And you can move that up and down, and you can do both sides. And it really feels so wonderful for me in particular, because a lot of times we're with being on the computer straining our neck, and there's tension there. So those are a couple of tips. We'll get into the guided practice now. As I said, we'll be focusing on connecting with the body, with kindness and compassion. We all have things that, you know, maybe our body doesn't do as well we would like it to, or, you know, aspects that we don't really like about our body. We're really good at focusing on the negatives and the flaws and our imperfections. So this is really about tuning in with kindness, right? With compassion, and just really acknowledging and noticing all that our body does for us. So I'll invite you just to relax back into your chair. Close your eyes. Take a nice deep breath in. Plant your feet on the floor, or a dull gaze towards the table or floor if you don't feel comfortable closing your eyes. And I'm just going to invite you to breathe in slowly through your nose to the count of 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then trying to breathe out even more slowly, almost like you're blowing a big bubble through your mouth to the count of 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now just continue breathing normally, or you can continue with the extended breath a little bit longer, whatever you prefer. But I'll invite you to bring your attention to your left foot. Just noticing your left foot, including your toes, your heel, the bottom of your left foot, the top of your left foot, and just noticing what it feels like. Does it feel light? Does it feel heavy? Does it feel hot? Does it feel cold? Just noticing. Then moving your attention to your left ankle and noticing how your ankle feels. Paying attention to whether there's any pain, and again the temperature. Is it cold? Is it hot? Does it feel light? Does it feel heavy? Does it feel settled or does it feel fidgety? Moving your attention to your left leg, starting at the bottom, and then gradually moving up the knees to the thighs, all the way to the hips at the top of your leg. Noticing if your left leg feels tight or relaxed, warm or cold, heavy or light. Then paying attention to your right leg. Your right foot. Just noticing your right foot, including your toes, the heel, the bottom of your foot, the top of your right foot, and again noticing what it feels like. Does it feel hot? Does it feel cold? Does it feel heavy? Does it feel light? Not judging, just noticing. And pausing for a moment and giving appreciation for what our feet do for us, right? Our feet that help us to support our body every day. Many of us like to decorate if we get pedicures when we're allowed to do that. And just the ability to connect with the earth, right? If we're barefooted, connecting with the grass and taking in all of those sensations. Moving our attention up to our right ankle, noticing how our right ankle feels. Paying attention to whether there's any pain, whether it's cold or hot, whether it feels heavy or light, whether there's tension, whether it wants to move, or whether you're just comfortable being still. Paying attention now to your right leg, starting at the bottom, up to your knees and thighs, all the way to the hips at the top of your leg. We hold a lot of tension here as well, noticing whether it feels tight or relaxed, warm or cold, heavy or light. And maybe just take a moment to even rotate your hips if you can. I know it's hard when you're sitting. You can kind of make a little circle with your pelvic area if you choose, or you could even, just shift from side to side. But just a gentle movement there. Now moving your attention to your belly. And just notice again what's there. Feel how your belly feels. Let it be the way that it is. Our belly that breathes for us. Try to soften it and allow the breath to just fully flow in all the way down to our belly. That diaphragmatic breathing, that nice deep breath, is the fastest way to stabilize our brainstem, to calm our body, to control that fight or flight response. Sends an instant message that we are okay. Send loving kindness to your belly. Imagine just sending, a breath of comfort, connection, gratitude, all the way down to your belly. Giving appreciation for all it does to help us each day. Now paying attention to your back, starting with your low back, all the way up to your shoulders. Noticing how your back feels. And sit for a moment, just noticing your back. If you're in a chair, try to relax back into that chair and allow your body to just be supported. Allow your legs to settle into the chair. Your tummy to continue to expand, and your back to relax back into the back of the chair, supporting it. And just pause for a moment and notice how tremendously wonderful our body is, how it allows us to move, to run, to be active in whatever way we can. The breath and the wonderful power and connection of the breath, and also our back, right, that allows us to, again, stabilize, stand tall, move throughout the day. Bringing your attention to the shoulders and seeing if you can just drop those shoulders down any more than they already are. We often hold a lot of tension in our shoulders, and just giving permission for the shoulders to drop down and just relax and release. Now bringing your attention to the fingers, thumbs, wrists, arms, and shoulders. Maybe starting with wiggling your fingers and just noticing them. Rotating your wrists, just making little circles. Opening and closing your hands and trying to release any tension that's there. Maybe rotating those shoulders as well, just a nice little circle, right? You can rotate your arms midway down as well. And just having gratitude for all that our hands and fingers and arms allow us to do. Eating, moving, touching things, hugging others if you enjoy hugs, connecting with others, connecting with ourselves. Bringing attention now to our neck and our throat. Just swallowing for a moment and noticing how your neck and your throat feel. Pausing and just breathing and being. Releasing any tension that you're feeling in your neck. Maybe gently moving your head side to side, or gently moving it in a half circle or a full circle. Whatever feels best for you. And just noticing. And if you do that, you might want to switch sides too and go the other way. Paying attention to your face, your chin, your jaw. We hold so much tension in our jaw, our mouth, our cheeks, our eyes and our eyebrows, your forehead, and finally your ears. Our ears hold tension too, and can be a place of releasing some of that. You can even just gently squeeze or unfold the folds at the top of your ear, or roll them back and give a little bit of a gentle pressure to the bottom of the ears. It can be a nice way to release some tension. Bringing attention to your head, including your scalp and your hair and the brain inside your head, our brain and our mind that do so much. They're so incredible. And giving gratitude, just pausing to give thanks. Right? Give thanks for all that our brain allows us to do, all that our mind allows us to reflect on and experience. Pausing and taking another nice big belly breath and filling your whole body with this cushion of air. But imagine that it is this air of love, or gratitude or appreciation that is just flowing through us, and that we're sending it to all parts of our body, from our toes all the way up to the crown of our head, our fingers, right? Every part of our body, and just offering appreciation and imagining this appreciation flowing through your body with your breath. You can put your hands on your heart if that feels good for you. But just focusing on being in connection with your body, with appreciation for all that it does for us every day. And as you breathe in this appreciation and you breathe out, imagine just sighing out or releasing anything that's not serving you or any tension. Maybe imagine it getting even a little bit softer. So breathing in that love and connection, and breathing out the tension. Pausing and bringing your attention back to the room. And just noticing. Just noticing. How did that feel for you? And if anyone's comfortable sharing, I'd invite you to do so in the chat box. Thank you for being here with us today. How does your body feel? I hope that throughout the day you'll be able to continue with this practice of tuning in, connecting with your body in a kind way. It gives us signals and signs all the time, right? And oftentimes we're frustrated by those signals and signs, but if we can pause and be curious about, well, what is my body maybe trying to tell me here? Or what is needed, right? All of those things can help us to tend to our body in a way that is nurturing and compassionate, but also healing, right? Because often those messages our body is sending to us are for our highest healing benefit. I thank you for being here with us today. I wish you a gentle rest of the day, and I look forward to posting our gratitude practices for the day throughout the day, and would love to hear back from you if you've been practicing them, just reflecting in the discussion posts below the activities, how it's felt for you, what you've noticed. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. I'm hoping that if it is a nice day tomorrow, we will be going outside to do our meditation. So if you have the ability to be portable live online with us, that would be great. Wishing you a gentle and grateful rest of your day. Thank you.